All right, so we know what you guys are here for. So before we're gonna get things kicked off. So now we are welcoming Daniel Herrera, who is the managing director and advisor for Startup Showcase for eMerge Americas. Take it away, Daniel.
Thank you so much. Everyone, how are we doing? Beautiful, beautiful. Well, first I have to say this is too thin of a crowd. We need more people here. So as you know people here at the conference, please invite them to hear our top 25 pitches. These are our top 25 startups that have competed from around the world. We have a startup from Singapore. We have startups from South America. We have startups from everywhere competing, and they've been selected over the course of 2 days to pitch here on this stage as top 25 finalists of the Startup Showcase. So please, this event is going to last up until 3 p.m. And after that, we're going to select our top 5 startups, which will pitch on the main stage. So get excited. Bring everyone that you can here. We're going to fill all of these seats, and we're going to support these startups because they've worked so hard to get here. Okay? Well, without further ado, please let me get a great big round of applause for our first startup, Abacus Exchange.
I didn't say homework and
Thank you. Good morning, everyone at eMerge. My name is Gene, and I am the head of product at Abacus Exchange. See, when you think about Latin America, education and finances are not the first thing that comes to your mind. With a population of over 600 million people who hold 6% of global GDP, there is an evident lack of financial education and access to high-quality financial tools. Compared to G7 countries, where 45% of households hold at one stock in their investment portfolio, that number is less than 1% in Latin America. That is why we founded Abacus, which is a platform that allows users to access financial tools. Our solution allows our customers to get both on-demand and live-stream financial courses, allowing them to run a fundamental analysis on stocks that are in the stock market. We have graduated over 3,000 members, 3,000 for our Abacus Experience program, converting 65% to our Abacus Pro. As you can see the cost, Latin Americans are willing to pay for high-quality education. The requirements to open an investment account for US citizens and foreigners are the same. So why aren't we doing it? Because we don't have access for education. We have partnered with TradeStation and JP Morgan to allow Latin Americans to create their first investment account in the US so that they can access an investment portfolio. And what is even more interesting is that 84% of our students fund their accounts with $500 or more, which increases our revenue per user by 10%. We created a platform that combines education and investments. Our students can connect their investment portfolio to our platform so that we can keep an ongoing ecosystem, allowing them to access a community of over 2,000 investors. And as you can see our numbers, we have a revenue per user of $968 compared to our customer acquisition cost of $177. And our students are coming to us. 30% are coming organically with no type of advertisement going into them. So as you can see our numbers, we've sold more than $2.5 million since we launched. And last year we did $958,000, closing Q1 this year with 370. Our operating profit is 48%, which gives us a good number. Looking to make $4 million next year by going to Mexico. 14 times the population, 12 times the GDP, and a higher average income per user. Now, we're looking to raise 1.2 so that we can kick off our operations in Mexico. And we plan to use this money the following way. Being the most important part, our expenses budget. We convert through our free education platform 6% of all the leads that we get organically. By increasing ad spending, we can increase our revenue. As last, we would love to win this competition. And by doing that, we would be able to donate 1,000 scholarships to eMerge entrepreneurs. We're looking to do this, so thank you very much. This is Abacus Exchange. So I would love to take the judges' questions. More than happy to.
Can you hear me?
Of course.
Can you tell us about the team and why did you have your raise amount in Canadian dollars?
We are founded in Canada. So when we launched Abacus, I was living here in Miami, and my co-founders were living in Barcelona in Canada. So when we looked at the options, we decided that Canada was the best place for us to constitute the company. So since our income statements are in Canadian dollars, we wanted to be transparent with our investors about the numbers.
Oh, so all of the revenue and everything you just
Is in
stated
Canada.
is in Canadian dollars?
Of course.
Okay. Can you tell us about the team, please?
So my name is Gene. I'm the head of product. I have a background in working for startups, basically public companies that are already in the market. Ernesto, our CEO, who was a brilliant guy who founded the company, and along with Winston, our next co-founder, and Eric Padilla, our CTO. The four of us are in the C-suite, along with Carlos, who's sitting right here. We own 92% of the company. So we are really committed to bringing education forward in Latin America. We were a founding team of 7, and 5 of us are still on the team. So we are really committed and compenetrated to bringing this forward.
You talked about your customer acquisition cost and the revenue. What's your margin?
So the margin is around 48% operating profits. So we have been, since year 2, we're profitable. We are completely bootstrapped. We've never raised capital. So our curve looks really healthy comparing to the type of business that we're running. As we see revenue increasing and user acquisition increasing, our customer acquisition cost drops because it's ad spending. So we're already able to convert 6% no matter what we've done for the last 2 years. So as we have increased ad spending, revenue just increases automatically.
Who's your competition and how are you different?
So we have Kriana and Coder House. The differentiator are 3. The first one is that they have focused on a lower pricing, different type of structure, where we don't mind our prices. We know that our products have quality, and whenever you take one of our classes, and I invite everyone to pass by our booth, you will see that it's Netflix quality. So when the student goes into to take a class, they feel that they are watching a movie, but they're learning at the same time. The second one is our community. As soon as you access Abacus, you have 3,000 investors in a group chat in Discord that are giving you that sense of community and engagement. So those are our biggest differentiator compared to our company, to our competition. And I would add another one, which is content marketing. Organically, we are receiving 30% of enrollments. We have a podcast in YouTube that in Q1 had 400,000 views in only 7 episodes. So that traffic is coming to our free education platform where we're converting 6% as well. So that's our biggest differentiator. Anything else? Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
of course.
I was going to just ask a little bit and to understand, because you're in the university stage, what university are you
Pucamama
representing?
from Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
The Odyssey. When we think of blindness, our mind immediately jumps to the white cane or guide dogs, technology that's been around since before the 1st century AD. That's over 2,000 years without any update in the technology. Meanwhile, we have Roomba vacuums and Tesla cars that can navigate and perceive the world on their own. That's why we've embarked on this odyssey that's using LiDAR in order to translate the language of vision into sound. Because it's not that the information's not there, it's just that blind people can't access it. Our device allows for unmatched, confident, independent navigation. Other companies have tried to tackle this huge gap in the market, but have fallen short for various reasons, including GPS systems that tell you through audio cues where your destination is, but not if there's a huge drop in front of you or busy traffic. So there's a lot of safety concerns with the other attempts at blind navigation. But with the Odyssey, with its discrete design, completely hands-free, and 3D dynamic topographic information, we have the potential to impact millions of lives.
Due to natural deterioration of vision as we age, there's currently 350 million blind people in the world. If we price our device at $1,800, we will be seeking a total market size of $630 billion. Now, the CDC reports there's 4 million Americans in the country. This means that our serviceable addressable market is a total of $7.2 million. And if we take a conservative estimate, just 10% of this population, we will be seeking at a total of $720 million. And remember, this is only in the US. Now, at Odyssey, we're not just about dreaming big. We are taking action. This is why in December of 2022, we have already finalized our initial prototype and testing. And since then, we have done several iterations of our device, always keeping our main focus, which is having a human-centered design. After this, we have trademarked and we have filed a provisional patent in February of 2023. And since then, we have won several competitions that have helped us with the funding necessary to fund our second prototype this month. To ensure the success of the Odyssey, we are starting to establish our relationships with Bascom Palmer and Miami Lighthouse, a part of UHealth right here in Miami. All of this passion and dedication will come together once we start our mass production and initial launch in July of 2023.
Wow, so we're really on the way through phase 1 of our product development, and we're excited to announce our initial launch in August of this summer. After this will consist of a release of the device to a limited group of people through our partnerships and connections in order to follow them for the next couple months to make sure the Odyssey is doing what we want. Then our secondary release will involve an app integration which will interface with the device and mounts for your bike or scooter so that you can Odyssey anywhere. Then phases 3 and 4 are really focused on getting the device to people of all socioeconomic statuses, because it shouldn't matter where you're from, only where you're going. We're going to do this by getting FDA approval as a Class 1 medical device or hearing aid equivalent, and then moving on to founding our own nonprofit to completely subsidize or offset the cost of the Odyssey, making it available for everyone. We are founded by a team of biomedical engineers at the University of Miami with a unique position and connections to really make an impact on the world and an ability to really revolutionize the way that these people see the world. Thank you, and we can't wait to embark on this Odyssey with you.
Thank you. So I judged you on Wednesday as well. What I didn't ask you, so I've had some of the questions answered already. The noises that are generated by the device are heard with your earpiece? So
Yes, so you can choose if you like to wear headphones, if you like to do earbuds, you can choose any way.
Okay.
And we also understand that deafness and blindness are highly comorbid, or in noisy environments like this, it can be hard to pay attention. So part of our second release is including multiple outputs, such as haptics or other methods of receiving the information.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what you would do with the funds that you might earn today?
Yes, thank you. So, like we said, it's human-centered design with a human-centered device. Our goal is really to be putting that back into this nonprofit we want to found and to be cutting the cost of the Odyssey down so that more people can access it. Because we understand that a price point of $1,800, even in the US, is a lot, and especially as we move to other countries, is almost impossible. So our market estimates are actually based off pricing the device at different points to allow for people to have a person-centered price on it, and then moving forward in that nonprofit, it would be helping fund that and continue people on their Odyssey.
Have you explored getting it covered by insurance, or maybe you covered that?
Yes, exactly. So that's why we want to file with FDA clearance, because that would allow for insurance reimbursement and Medicaid reimbursement. And a cool thing about us is that with the FDA process, kills a lot of medical devices because it's long, expensive, and has a lot of problems. But we can turn a profit to keep ourselves going and keep people journeying forward before we even move through that.
Thank you.
Can't wait to embark on this Odyssey with you.
I would like to start off with a fact that is frankly terrifying. As I stand here in front of you, hundreds of tons of plastic have already been wasted worldwide. We have identified that one of the main producers of plastic waste are sporting events. Here, hundreds of thousands of plastic containers are improperly disposed of at every event. In the process of thinking of alternatives to plastic, we arrived at a particular solution: edible packaging. This is Powerade. And just like that, I was able to hydrate and left no plastic behind. Energy Drops is the end result of our proprietary formula, which has allowed us to transform algae into an edible container. This can carry any liquid you want. Our start go-to market will be running sporting events. but there is potential to scale it to any other type of event. Now, we want to work together with the biggest companies in the beverage industry by providing a developed alternative to plastic containers. Here, we know we must also raise awareness among fans, and what better way to do this than with the help of sports public figures. Now, going back to how we're going to work with the businesses, we want to implement workshops at their establishments with a special focus on promoting our container within the organization. Having said this, we know our container will reach athletes at every sporting event because of the strong partnerships we will maintain with beverage companies who sponsor them. Now, I cannot stress enough how strongly aligned we are towards environmental impact. This is at our core. And if we look at one of the biggest running events in the US, the Boston Marathon, there were estimated to be more than 60 tons of carbon emissions only when looking at plastic bottles. We want to bring this number down to 0. But that is just the beginning. Can you imagine a world where the need for plastic was eliminated? One simple change, and we would be responsible for removing plastic. More than 32 million tons of carbon emissions. Now let's talk about the market size. The market size of the global beverage packaging industry was valued at $150 billion, with a growth rate of 5%. This is a healthy and attractive market to invest in, and we are certain that our company will bring not only innovation, but also promote a rapid growth for years to come. And this is where you come in. We know our project is ambitious and has huge potential. And we hope you see how this will change the world the same way we do. With this in mind, we're looking for a safe of $200,000. A majority of it will be directed towards working together with labs so we can further develop the product into something that can be distributed worldwide. We're also looking for strategic team members who share the same vision we do and are looking to be a part of the solution, as well as a specialized sales team who can help us reach US beverage companies at a much quicker rate. My name is Jose Sarmiento, and alongside the talented Domenica Lupera are the creators of Energy Drops, the next step towards a plastic-free future.
Have you determined yet how long the vessel will hold the liquid without leakage, or how long it can be stable before it starts to decompose?
Well, like I said, we're looking for the investment so we can further develop the product. But for now, with the prototype we have, and based on the experience that this has provided for us, we have seen that the product can be holding water for hours. And if it's not holding water, it can still be, you can still have it within like an hour or two, where it will keep its original shape. It won't become more fragile. So it is perfect for athletes.
What is the delivery mechanism so that the packaging maintains any level of hygienic for the delivery for the person running or whatever? Because
of course,
nobody can touch it, right?
Right. That is one of the main questions that people have come up with when they reach our stand. And like I said earlier, we want to further develop this, and a part of it will be directed towards having a sustainable value chain. A part of this will go towards working with the beverage companies so we can have labs at nearby event sites. That way, we can diminish the cost that it will have to ship the container to an event, and also work on the hygienic issue. We want to have dispensers at these events, so no one's going to touch the product but you.
So you're probably a little far off from, being able to take this to marathons or other types of running events. But I noticed that the teams from Ecuador, how are you planning to actually get those U.S. partners and customers with such a distance? Do you have a team here that's helping you to develop, or is that something you're looking to bring aboard?
Well, right now, since we're a startup company, we come from a university, this was an idea that was born in a class. And we have talked to event organizers in Ecuador. We know that the sporting events are looking for alternatives to plastic. And this was an opportunity for us to reach the right people in the US, where we know that most of the plastic is produced, to offer them an alternative. And we have seen that events like the Boston Marathon are enormous wasters. So we can work together with these huge companies and work together for a container, which will eradicate plastic.
Hello, guys. My name is Hans, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Eugenia. Oops. My company is specialized on virtualizing humans, and even though it sounds futuristic, it's happening. And there are a huge demand in different industries, like game developers, VFX, animation, artificial intelligence, and even digital health. To give you a quick example about this, there was a really famous actor called Paul Walker that he died during a filming, and they needed to recreate him digitally in order to finish that movie. Today, there are two ways of virtualizing humans. The first one is having a bunch of people during a long time, virtualizing this person, but it's really expensive. And the second one is using the traditional scanning tools, but they are not efficient because they can't capture the natural movement of the people. That's why we decided to create our own solution, a 64 camera rig, in which with one click, you can capture an expression in a photorealistic way and with the best quality in the market. Today we have different clients like Netflix, Electronic Arts, with a cost per acquisition of $600 each. And basically we were the ones that made the football players for FIFA, and we have been participating in different video clips, movies, and video games. Today we have three main revenue streams that goes from scanning, the processing of that information, and making that information efficient using automated tools. We are continuing developing new revenue streams like this volumetric capture lab, in which we will be able to capture now the range of motion of people in a in three-dimension ways. Everything will be synchronized in a cloud platform, and this cloud platform we will be able to connect different scanning solutions around the world, even an iPhone. And all these automated tools will be available to anybody in the industry, and that will help us increase our revenue in an exponential way. We started the company in 2020, and during these 3 years, we had a 200% of annual growth, and we are projecting to have $1.2 million as revenue in this year. We attend to the most important events of the industry, and we are scanning and giving 3D assets for free, and we are using that information to continue developing AI tools for our services. We have different competitors with different business models, but we are better in terms of portability, in terms of quality, and in terms of price. We have been participating in different acceleration programs, such as Math Challenge and Bid Inception, and we received an Epic Mega Grant. We received $65,000 to continue developing our technology. And today we have an angel investor and two mentors from the industry, Juan Nader from Technicolor and Gerardo Corona from Electronic Arts. We have a multidisciplinary team led by the three co-founders. Carlos Vilchi, CTO. He has more than 15 years of experience leading tech companies. He has a PhD in virtual humans, and he used to be part of Lucasfilms. Ivan, CCO, that he's over there. He has more than 15 years of experience leading commercial teams for international brands, and me, the CEO, I have more than 10 years of experience leading tech companies. So today we are looking for an investment opportunity of $2.8 million to continue expanding our presence in North America and Europe, to finish our cloud platform, and to finish our volumetric capture lab, and everything will be delivered by the middle of the next year. So we invite you to virtualize the world together. Thank you very much.
I have two questions. Number one, how is your CAC so low? You're over here.
Oh my God, okay.
Your customer acquisition cost, $600, how is it so low with the kind of clients you're getting?
Because to be honest, this is a service that there are a few in the entire world, so it's quite easy to be like noticed about these clients. And as we are the only ones in Latin America doing this, the clients reach us to do the services over there. That's why we want to expand our presence in North America to continue expanding our clients.
And how far away is AI deepfake type technology? How many years will it take for them to get up to what you're able to do?
To be honest, we are complementing our technology with these automated tools. We are using AI to make this more efficient. So eventually, we want to have this entire system in a phone using normal iPhones. Okay, thank you.
Give me an example of how like Coca-Cola is using you in this technology.
For example, what they are doing is that they wanted to create a virtual influencer for their own campaigns. So that's why we entered there to create one. And we scan some celebrities and we change a little bit so that they can have like unique digital human for them.
Could you have a corporate company scan a CEO and have them speak on stage like that Tupac hologram? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
That? Okay.
Basically, there are a lot of people asking for that.
Okay.
Because they want to continue sleeping in the, like taking a daiquiri in the beach while they are running the companies. Yes. No more questions? Well, if you want to
Just a
visit
quick
us, we are
follow-up.
in the stand
One question.
S28, yes.
So regarding some of the clients that you already have, how many of them are recurring customers? So for example, like you mentioned FIFA 20, but there's new iterations that have come up. Are you still continuing to support projects like that?
Yes, basically, we want to become the right hand from this type of clients, as we want to create this network around the world. Because today they are just telling us to help them in Latin America, but as more systems we have spread around the world, it will be easier for us to deliver them more virtual humans. So yes, it's like a recurrent thing because mostly they are scanning celebrities, sports celebrities. So well, all the years are new ones and are new ones and are new ones, and it's more easy to scan them than to create it like by hand. Thank you, guys.
Hey everyone, how you guys doing today? I'm one of the co-founders of Source, where we're on a very simple mission: make materials do more for you, less on the planet. So I bet you don't know this right now. What you're wearing contributes to 10% of the world's CO2 emissions. That's the second largest polluter in the world. And that's because the leathers and the fabrics all of your clothing is made out of are made of plastic. Now, I used to consult with brands like Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour, and I quickly understood that 90% of the leading apparel brands we all love today all have made commitments from 2030 to 2050 to completely eliminate synthetic materials in their fabrics. Now, the problem is they can't find solutions that are durable and scalable. So what do? We look in our backyard. I bet you didn't know this. We spend $35 million per year cleaning up the seaweed from the beaches in Miami. And many coastal cities in the Bahamas, where their economy is driven on tourism, are truly struggling for this. We helped to solve that problem by taking seaweed and re-engineering it into high-performing, radically sustainable, and highly scalable leathers and fiber alternatives brands can use as part of their toolkit to solve their sustainability challenges. Now, this process is actually quite simple. We work with the manufacturer that sources the seaweed off the coast of Chile and in the Bahamas, and we take that and regenerate them into the leathers and fibers you see here, and we sell them to brands at $75 per square meter, right? So we're not trying to be a brand. We sell the fabrics directly to the manufacturers and the brands. And in 2026, we'll be launching our fiber technology where we license it to brands at an 8% rate of net sales. Now, we understand the market opportunity is large here, but we're starting off in the leather apparel and accessories market with our unique proprietary material. Not only do we have this sourced from the sea narrative, but also our material reflects heat more effectively than any material on the market today. So imagine your laptop, you leave it in the sun, your devices still stay cool. And after we capitalize on the $75 billion leather apparel and accessories market, we're gonna scale the exact same value prop to the $48 billion upholstery and automotive market, where they would like our material because they're spending 20 to 30% extra costs on coating their leathers for fire resistance. Our material is naturally fire resistant, so we actually help them reduce those logistics costs over time. Now so far we've had immense support from the Adidas Family Office, the National Science Foundation, and the Textile Exchange, and we're working with we've had over 30 brands enter our pipeline, and we're down selecting 5 of those 30. Those are brands like Alpine Stars and Pangaea, and we're also working in the innovation teams of Puma and Ralph Lauren for motorsport applications and fire-resistant baby apparel, and Toyoshima, where we have a strategic partnership we're developing that will lead to $300,000 MRR. And so far, we have our first unique customer, Nicholas Kirkwood, that sold his company to Louis Vuitton, where we're licensing the technology, 10% on net sales, and we're scaling that early next year. And so far, we've raised $575,000 in our pre-seed round out of 1.3 to acquire a few key milestones. That's finalize some of the IP, set up our pilot scale manufacturing facility so we can begin the POs with a lot of these brands we're working with today. Now, thank you guys for joining us, and please help us on this mission to start changing the textile industry by starting at the source. Thank you. Open for questions.
So what's the cost to you to harvest all the seaweed? If you're doing it so far away in Chile, we have plenty of seaweed here. Is it cheaper to do it closer?
Yeah, so that's a great question. We actually don't source the seaweed, and I apologize, I don't know where you're coming from, but thank you. So we have a manufacturer that actually sources the seaweed off the coast of Chile, bales it, and it dries naturally in the Atacama Desert. So we don't, that cost isn't incurred on our side, but our cost of good per square meter of material is $47, and we sell it at $75.81. So that gives us around a 30 to 40% margin, which is pretty on par with a lot of the industry standards for cow hides and synthetic leather alternatives on the market today.
Can you tell us more about your team?
Sure thing. So, got a little picture here. So my background is I started my first company when I was 19 in college. It was a manufacturing company, scaled it, worked with Red Bull, some data center companies, and I studied material science, helping our university get grants around high temperature coatings for NASA. My co-founder, Derek, also did something very similar. Then we have our chief of sales, Patrick, who's had 7 years of sales experience. Matthew Yeager, he's our chief data officer. He's an actuarial scientist, so he helps us optimize a lot of our manufacturing and quality control. And then Nicholas Kirkwood, he joined as an advisor and investor, where he previously sold his company to Louis Vuitton. So he's really helping us understand the supply chain really well. And then Mary Lundahl, she's probably one of the most cited researchers in the field of biosynthetics. She saw us start this out of a garage 3 years ago, and then we hired her full-time as a technical advisor.
Are you familiar with a competitor of yours called Lacara out of Peru? They won the Vogue Innovation Award for synthetic leathers. How are you guys differentiated from them?
Yeah, so far in the market, there's only one competitor that has a 100% plastic-free alternative, right? So most brands that we've been working with, that's a very stringent criteria that they have to meet. Now, where we build this defensible moat around our material is we have these performance properties such as fire resistance, UV resistance, right? So most alternatives on the market, and when I worked in this space, apparel brands have very tight margins based on sustainability, but they're willing to spend more for a higher performing product. So we can really outcompete a lot of these companies that are pitching mostly on sustainability by offering leather manufacturers in the automotive space or in the furniture space a way to get fire resistance without having to coat it, right? So we can help them save on those logistics costs, so we can actually sell on performance, and also we have one of the most sustainable materials on the market. Thank you.